Even that ref was like, "Oh shit!"
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's talk about it
because of how good they were.
What was his Oscar?
Bert Smith.
Bert Smith. Bert Smith. Was that his name? He took a horrendous fall. We should not be laughing like this.
No.
We should also do more research, I guess. That was almost maybe. I mean, that was tough to watch. They reran it in slow motion. And I happened to.
Yes, it was Bert Smith.
I changed rooms, so I went from one room to another. I turned on it was on another channel. Okay, TBS, please. Like, all right, why are we at TBS? This is fucking Elite Eight. Can we at least get on the CBS?
Please.
What are we even
You
doing
would think.
here? Okay, but I'll go to TBS or whatever. I go over, and all of a sudden, it's like it was a quiet. There's a quiet sound, and they're like, "We'll be back on the other side while." Whoever's getting checked, and I sent a group text. I was like, what happened or whatever. Then Gumpy says, dude passed out cold or whatever. They talked about that. They show him getting stretchered off. Game continues. I'm like, okay. Then them going back to it, coming out of the commercial break. Slow-mo, circle, watch this body hit the floor, basically.
Yeah.
And that thing comes back on, and they're like, hey, zoom in, see what you're looking at here. That guy just completely stumbled, and then his whole body goes limp. His head hit that wooden floor so hard. It was. I was watching. I'm like, God damn! Like that was. And they're like, obviously, we hope he's okay. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, because the quarterback gets hit, that's always what you're worried about. Whenever you hear about concussions, it's always the head hitting the ground is almost like worse than the initial shot. Almost. Now, granted, I'm not saying head-to-head shots aren't the big deal, but players hitting the ground, especially with that old AstroTurf that used to be there in the cement and all the thing, him hitting you saw his head bounce and then go back up. I'm like, oh my fuck! Did that guy? His brain just moved inside of his head. Joe Burrow. His brain just moved. No, see, Joe Burrow's entire head.
Oh, that's right, his neck.
I actually think his brain on that shot stayed intact. Because his entire body. Joe Burrow's a tough son of a bitch. So is this guy, by the way, this ref. What's his name? Bert Smith.
Yes.
Bert Smith. His head hitting the ground. So now you're trying to watch the game, but all you're thinking to yourself is, that guy might be in real trouble.
Yeah.
So then Gene Steratore comes in, gives an update. By the way, Gene Steratore is the man. He was the man whenever he was an NFL ref, too. Yeah. He came around the training camp. He's a Western Pennsylvania guy, Pittsburgh guy. He and I would talk to each other every single time I went on the field whenever he was reffing the game, and anytime we were around each other. I love Gene Steratore. The game misses Gene Steratore more than any of the other refs that you see that have left. The game misses Gene Steratore. Hockey Lee, maybe Hockey Lee as well, but Gene Steratore, outright dude. He gives an update like, okay, he's okay, they're checking on him. Then he said like the waiting ref from the second game will also be the waiting ref now, and there's a replacement. So he broke down the entire process, which was interesting to hear because I think there's a lot of refs that'll never ref a game that are currently being bubbled for like 4 weeks, and they're probably zooming with their friends and family. Yeah, might get a chance to ref tomorrow. If what happens? Well, if a guy passes out completely, I'll go in after the next guy that goes in. So they had like people
It's happening.
They had people on deck for this, which is good. Now, obviously, there's more games earlier. But then after the game, you know, the NBA Live crew, is that the show?
Inside NBA on TNT,
TNT NBA show. The fucking great show. The Charles, Kenny the Jet. And then they got Andy Katz replaces Shaq on that show.
Oh, okay.
Okay, for the college basketball one. So, he's there with Ernie, who's one of the greatest hosts to ever exist. Kenny the Jet and Shaq. Those three, those guys have been working together for like 25, 30 years.
Long time.
Then they got Katz just dropped in there for Shaq. He's kind of put into an interesting situation.
Yeah.
And I think the internet, by the way, was not very nice, I think, to Katz early, but I think Katz is maybe potentially finding his groove. He gives an update after the game. He's like, update, they have talked to Bert Smith. He's okay. He's recovering, and he's not going to the hospital. He's going back to the hotel. And this was Katz's announcement. Charles Barkley immediately goes, he needs to go to the hospital. Charles Barkley said he needs to go to the hospital. Okay, so Ernie was like, I'm sure the doctors, were saying, he was like, oh, and Charles Barkley goes, yeah, sure, the guy just fainted, passed out. Take him back to the hotel. He'll be fine. Then they go into a commercial break.
Jeez.
They come back out the other side. Charles is not on set. Okay, so I immediately was like, oh, Charles just...
They yanked him. Get him out.
No, he was in the Capital One Charles Lounger or whatever on the other side. Just continued to talk. I mean, it was just like, that guy, Charles Barkley, such a fucking gem whenever it comes to just human beings. Oh, yeah, take him back to the hotel. Just passed out on national television, hit his fucking skull off the wood, bounced up there. Just take him back to the hotel, no big deal. That was very, because as soon as he said he's going back to the hotel, not the hospital, my first thought was like, anytime somebody has a concussion, their first thought is like keep people around. Like, you need to have people around you.
Can't fall asleep.
Keep people around them because you don't know what's going to happen because their brain just kind of moved in there. So I'm happy as soon as he said that, Chuck was like, he needs to go to the hospital. Listen, I don't know who's telling you this information. I don't know what doctors are talking in there. Get his fucking ass to the hospital, though. I hope he's okay, but that was a horrific scene last night.
And when he was getting stretchered out, you could tell that he was not going to the hospital because of how pissed off he was. He had arms crossed. He was fucking shaking his head like, son of a bitch.
Was he calling a good game? I don't remember. I don't think.
I mean, at this point, Gonzaga was already up 20, so I don't think it really mattered who was calling the game.